together. So I mean, was it the one I can like on the one in the meeting against the boy that to you. So Doctor, we are very grateful that you come to our midst. In fact, yesterday we waited. Everything was over. Yeah, we are with that. Been there, see, today, lose all some. Say, as I'm getting that, what we were done. Oh, the Formula Ghana, they lose all that way. And of course, you got confirmation that it was not possible to come yesterday. And again, today, they are not giving up, they are still gathered here to say welcome to you. So they are very, very motivated. They are looking very strongly towards you. And as you can see, they are all full of joy. It's, what you have seen here at dances is just a touch of what you have in the village. Because the whole village is mobilized waiting for you. So, and you got so interested in Mamuri, our culture, they decided to send an envoy. Who came here in April during our AGM from Nigeria. And I took him to the village. He was impressed. So Arnold is a great philanthropist. And now we are lucky to have him in Cameroon. And in Cameroon it is bamboo. There's a lot which he will tell us about his organization. The name of the organization is PPEP, Portable Practical Educational Preparation, INCO. And besides that, they have a lot to do with community groups and mental credit facilities. So he will be looking at what we do. Particularly those who are really underprivileged and in the rural areas, what they do as groups and how their group can come to assist to improve on their activities and of course their livelihood. So there's a lot more which we are going to discover from him. He's right here himself. We have to answer any questions you will answer, and if you have anything to ask, don't feel shy. Ask anything you want, and he's very down, very simple. Down.
Well, Miyaka to all of the people. Abuela, Bekam Mala John. I bring greetings from my traditional area in Arizona, the USA. In the state of Arizona, where I live, we have 13 tribal nations, so we have many traditional people.
So I live in Arizona, the state, the tribe, the team. So, called
So our people, like your people, we are really one because humanity knows no frontiers and no barriers. We all have the same expectations. We want a better life for our children than we had for ourselves. In our area and in many places we visited in Africa, we've identified some problem areas that are very common, and one of them is that of diabetes.
think no, Africa, Nigeria in particular. There's a amount of diabetes.
Diabetes is something that is curable. And it does not take medicines. It takes basically going back to the natural ways of how our ancestors ate.
And for diabetes, last week and for diabetes,
when you go to the forest, you have the yams, you have the rice, you have the cacao, I think you call it cocoa, and you have many of the things that are what our ancestors ate. And because they ate well, we are here today.
So I've been getting a talking to that.
We have a nutrition class, and when our children go by that sign, they give it a bad sign. They say, no, this is not for us.
So what I recommend teach you, but teach you is even good. Now, Langman is here.
So diabetes is something that is entirely curable through natural ways.
So diabetes, I'm at a through natural,
So it's by eating right, and if you take the foods that are natural and eat them, the fruits, the nuts, and the things that are not processed, you will find that you will prevent diabetes from happening or even reverse diabetes if it's in your life.
I hope we didn't talk to the vegetables, meats,
In Ghana and Nigeria, we have started microcredit loan programs to make loans available to small, sustainable farmers so that they will produce the natural foods that help prevent diabetes.
I don't know Ghana and Nigeria, but they microcredit. There were farmers who have there over investing no butcher. So I'm not going to show you.
Another thing that we have in common, we see, as we saw tonight, we see big trucks with huge trees that are cutting our forest. Every time a big tree is cut, that's cutting your hand. It's like cutting somebody in your family. Because once those trees are gone, they will never come back. And they will cause such damage as it's already happening in America, in Europe. The weather is changing because they have allowed their forests to be destroyed and be cut down and taken away. We have in Ghana now, in the areas that have been, the trees been cut down, the children are going back and planting trees where the trees were cut down. In the Volta region, the Buem people have passed a rule within their kingdom that nobody can come and cut their trees. And anytime somebody comes to try to cut their trees, they take the cutting saw away from those people and ask them to leave. The other thing that we need to be thinking about is recycling. When I got on the airplane in the USA to come to Africa, I noticed the shirts, the clothing that the airline attendants were wearing. And it said on their shirt, our shirt is made from recycled plastic bottles. That's going to be a hard one.
Well, I had one plane to do there. The water is going to have one plane. As I said, the movie, I do the jetty. We use plastic paper. The recycled plastic.
After our soccer games in Ghana, the women are always running around to pick up the little plastic drinking bags, and they put them in big bags, and then trucks come and take them to a crop for recycling, and they make money. Another thing the women are doing, and also the men, in collecting these little bags, they cut off the top and they put soil in there, and they put a small cocoa tree plant in there to help the plant to grow so they can eventually go and plant it, but it's an incubator. I'd like to talk a little bit about microcredit program now. Microcredit is a very, very old program. It started maybe thousands of years ago when people would lend money to people so that they could do business. And so there is today a great man called Dr. Mohammed Yunus. He recently won the Nobel Peace Prize. He comes from the poorest country on earth, which is Bangladesh. And he made over 5 million loans in 20 years to help the microcredit people to have loans and have businesses. Dr. Mohammed Yunus.
We need a Nobel Prize. We will for approximately about 5,000 loans.
5 million, 700,000 loans.
5,700,000 loans in 20 years.
So what is a microcredit program?
Microcredit program.
A microcredit program comes in two sizes. One is when the microcredit loan program makes a loan to one business. So one loan, one business.
Microcredit program,
yes, as opposed to the microcredit cooperative where one loan goes to many. For instance, so in Nigeria we might have 40 catfish farmers. They all receive one loan, they build their catfish tank, but they all pay back the same loan.
One group.
Yeah. The larger businesses receive their own individual loan. The smaller businesses start out with a cooperative loan, and then they can the lady gave a prayer earlier, so I'm going to quote something from Scripture. From Matthew 25, there was a story of a rich man who gave talents to 3 of his servants. So the rich man said to one of the men, "Here is 5 talents of gold. I want you to go and make a profit." The second man, he gave 2 talents of gold. It said the same thing. And then there was another man, he just gave 1 talent of gold. So then the rich man went away for many years, and then he came back. And so he called the 3 men to come and report what they had done with his gold. The one man said, "Master, here's your 5 talents of gold, plus I made 5 talents of gold." And he gave it. Then the other man that had 3 talents of gold came and put the 3 talents of gold and 3 more that he had made while the rich man was gone, the master was gone. The other man that only had the 1 talent of gold came and bowed his head and said, "Master, here is your 1 talent of gold. When you left, I hid the talent of gold in the dirt, and I brought it back. And here it is." So the master was not very happy, and so he said to this man, "You have wasted your talent, and so I will not help you again. But to the other ones, he said, good and faithful servants, go forth and I will multiply your wealth. So what does this all mean? Simply this. Some of you have a great deal of talent. Some of you have lesser talent than the others. So every one of you can be a micro business. You have a talent. You have something, a business is you have something that somebody else needs. And so what I would challenge you tonight is to think about yourself as a micro business entrepreneur. There is one rule about being a business. It's a formula which is simply this. Your income minus your expenses is your profit. Your income minus your expenses is your profit. That's the rule, golden rule. So, if your income is less than your expenses, then you're not a business, you're a charity. So what I've told you right now is what we teach in our first lesson about becoming a micro business. So you are all graduates of Micro Business 101.
So they are graduated of class micro business. We were coming up with a multi-purpose cultural hall, which we can do some training. We have some training center for our community here. And even though it has been taking so long, we continue to hope that we go through. Today, we think we must go into your records that the first stop here was in the Bamboo Committee Hall in Luara. We have the intention of moving it up to 2-3 levels, and because of the scarcity of land, we felt that we will have the download hall open at least for community meetings, occasions, and then up we can use operations for different training groups. And so your presentation almost went in line with our thoughts, and I thought that it's a good forum. I must present this project to you.
Thank you very much. Saying simple, good, better, best. May I never rest until my good is better and my better is best. Now, I don't know if you've heard that one before, but this one we're going to learn it tonight. So, remember, good is not good enough. It only gets us to be better. And better is not good enough. It only gets us to be best. So, good, better, best. May I never rest until my good is better and my better is best. Okay, now I need you to help me.